Hello, welcome to another video. You catch me today. I'm doing a 200km DIY Audax up to Cleobury Mortimer. I'm a little bit late leaving. It's nearly 10 o'clock. So it'll probably be getting on for being dark by the time I get home. But yes, and the sun is out. So yes, so up to Gloucester, Dimmock, Ledbury, the old Audax favourite, Vineyard, and then across a foot of Clee Hill to Cleobury Mortimer, and then basically back. Well, here we go. We're catching on the island again, the same place as the other day, and here's the cows. Hello, cows. Feeling a bit horny today. The cows, not me. Oh dear. Yeah, it's such a difference in sunshine. My route, actually, I've gone a little bit wrong, but it was mainly because of the sheer amount of traffic that's on the roads this morning. Everybody seems to be going to do their shopping, so I came through here to avoid the traffic. Yeah, so join me on Telford's bridge. I mentioned this on my last video actually, and today I'm going over it, and as you can see, it's still tarmac like a road, but it just goes down to this little path down there, which is a bit of a steep little pitch that comes up it, so steep in fact that I couldn't actually film it. But if I walk over this side, there's the path down there, this the loop, and then you've got the A40 there, the modern bridge, and the River Severn flowing underneath it. And if we go back over to the other side, you can see the main line down to South Wales, going across that bridge there. It's rather rickety, to be honest, but it's obviously safe. But yeah, so that's the River Severn there, and there is another part of it that is sort of to the left, and then it rejoins itself the other side of Olney Island. Yeah, so today got a bit of a headwind all the way out to Cleobury Mortimer. That's alright, because I prefer it like that, get that bit out of the way, and get a tailwind home. So yeah, I've got a cycle path now that's alongside the A40 for about a mile, and then I turn off onto the Newent Road, and that can be pretty busy as well, because there's a lot of people that go out to the M50 that way. So for a B road it's actually pretty busy. So I've got that for a few miles, and then I'm back in the lane, so I'm looking forward to that, a bit more you know, peace and quiet, because it is really busy this morning. It's probably just because, oh no, it's a train. Yeah, so it seems very busy, and I think that's just my perception, to be perfectly honest. I'm a couple of hours sort of later leaving than I normally am. Just couldn't get out of bed this morning, if I'm perfectly honest. So yeah, as I said earlier, you know, it's likely that it's going to be dark by the time I get home, but I've got lights, and you know, there's no rush. You know, I've got 14 hours to do this or whatever it is. So yeah, yeah, so you'll join me in it a bit further on. Well, this is apparently Strawberry Hill. I'm just outside Newent, and I had a oh no moment back there. So it said the road was closed, but it wasn't a normal sign. Turns out there's some sort of car rally on, and they've put their own signs up saying that the road's closed. It's a bit naughty. Anyway, I only saw a few cars, but So I'm thinking of like Colin McRae type stuff. But no, it was just random people in random cars, what appears to be doing a sort of navigational exercise. Why you close the road for that, I don't know. Anyway, each to their own, I suppose. Oh, but now when I get to the top of this, the weather is gorgeous. It's been grey and horrible for a week. Oh dear. Those blackberries are abundant this year. Don't know if that's an old wives' tale for a harsh winter, I don't know, but or just meaning that it's been a good growing season. But yes, we shall see, I suppose. We're due a bad one, because it's been a good sort of 10 years getting on for it. Hopefully it won't be too disruptive. Anyway, I'll stop here, have a look at this lake. It's lovely. Sort of chiselled out of the hillside. And I have to confess, there is a bit of a reason I've stopped. There's a lady on a horse in front, so I'm giving her a bit of a head start to get the way. Anyway, there's a car coming now. On the new into Ledbury Road, and there was something I just want to show you actually, and that's the Three Choirs Vineyard. So there's lots of vines in there. Then I mean, those grapes, I don't know anything about them, but there's some on there, and there's some of them that are black, so I'm assuming they're ready. They must be harvested soon, I believe. I don't know, I've never had any of their wine as far as I know. So yeah, and you can see the other side of those, I don't know what trees those tall trees would be. I want to say conifers, it's not, is it? That is actually the mulverins there, but sort of back end of the mulverins. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be heading north from here to, as you know, Cleobury Mortimer. And actually, when you go up Clee Hill, I'm not going up Clee Hill today, but when you're out there, you can see the mulverins from the top of there, and it's quite odd seeing them from that angle, you know, because they look completely different to what I'm used to, you know. Anyway, on far off from Vineyard now, just on the descent actually. And I'm using two different cameras today. I'm using my phone and I've got a GoPro as well, so I'm doing this one actually on the GoPro, but not sure if you can see that view, but it's rather lovely. I couldn't be bothered to get the phone out again, to be honest, because I've got that in a little protective case, so I have to undo that to get it. So the GoPro is easier to get at, so I thought I'd use that for this clip. I've actually stopped here before. Did a 600 back in May, my first attempt, and it was a bit too hilly, and I got to 500k and that was it, I was done in. So International Rescue came and got me, and I actually came out this way, and it's funny how a few months and you forget how grippy a route is, and basically from what I've done from Ledbury today is what I did on that particular trip. And yes, it's up and down all the way, and you know, you don't cover ground particularly quick, or I don't anyway, because I don't climb very fast. But yeah, one of the good things that I've seen just down the road actually, and I actually stopped to try and capture it, was this bird of prey. It wasn't a kite, because I know the shape of a kite is, the tail is quite unique, you know, it stands out, and this is too dark a brown colour to be a kite, but it was huge, and it stopped on top of an electricity pole, and so I stopped to get my phone out, because I could zoom into it to you know, to show you guys, and the sound of the zip on my phone case that spooked it, and it flew off, and yeah, so I didn't actually get a chance to capture that, but yeah, it was amazing, you know, the stuff that you see when you're out on your bike, you know. And I think, you know, we're having a pretty good end to summer, you know. It's been a pretty average one, really, you know. We had that 1 week or so, when was that, July, when it was really hot, and that's been basically it. The rest of the time it's not been too wet, I don't think, but yeah, it hasn't been hot, and actually probably for cycling it's just been right, really. Probably just being a bit picky. Yeah, anyway, but what's the time now? Where are we? 12:30. So just probably been going for 2.5 hours, 2.75 hours now. Done 36 miles. So I'm coming up to a third of the way round. So that's good. Yeah. Anyway. So after the vineyards at 3/4 outside Newent there, I came across this in the lanes just north of Ledbury. This is a field. I think this is hops growing here. So I should maybe rename this this ride, you know, getting drunk on wine and beer so far, and I'm pretty sure there's some orchards as well, so it'll be cider as well. But yeah, these look. So I promised an orchard a little while ago, and this is about a mile down the road. So yeah, it's an apple orchard. So that covers cider. I need to find some sloes, don't I, just to cover a gin. Oh, here we are, just looking back at the mulverins from the sort of northwesterly side, I guess you'd call that. They've got them in the gateway of a field of potatoes by the looks of it. Actually, can't you make vodka out of potatoes? So that might be another alcoholic beverage we cover today. Vodka. I know, I'm fairly sure there isn't a whiskey distillery anywhere on the route, so you know, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll put the today's route up in the description, or I might insert a video clip of today's route. And you know, if you've got any suggestions where there's a whiskey distillery on this route, I'd be interested, actually, just to say I've been there. I'm not a big whiskey drinker. I do have a tipple now and again, but not very often. Well, you find me in Vineyard, and in the background there, that's flower juice of Vineyard. Those that have done the Audax that start out of Shropshire will know that as a control. And has been here plenty of times, but yeah, it hasn't changed at all. Actually, a couple of miles outside Vineyard. It was a bit busy in Vineyard, so I did a hasty retreat, and I've come out on basically on the road to Tenbury Wells, and yeah, I was just as I was riding along from earlier when we were talking about the 3/4 vineyard, you know, it reminded me of a trip I did about just over 5 years ago. Some friends of mine and we went to Italy, and there was a guy in the cycling club whose wife was an officer in the RAF. And she'd had a posting to the NATO base just outside Naples, and it was a 3-year thing, so they got a little house to live in on the base. And you know, we arranged this trip so that he could go out and show us around. He wasn't actually working at the time. I think he was in the RAF at some point as well, and he'd already retired. But anyway, yeah, so he took us around for a week on the roads that he'd been spending a couple of years on. And we were going along this one road, and it was row upon row of vines, you know, and eventually, after a few miles of this, we came across the vineyard, and there it was with all the barrels and tanks, silos, whatever you would call them, where they would bottle the wine from the vines. And the amusing part of the story is that you know, he said, come on, let's go in and have a look at the shop. So a bit like the 3/4, they had an on-site shop that you could go in and buy wine, and you could basically bring your own container. And they had these basically 3 petrol pumps. As a farmer, yeah, 3 petrol pumps, and one was white, one was red, and one was rosé. And so you bring your container along with you, and you pump it from this petrol pump, for want of a better description. And I wish I hadn't held the camera up with my hand now, because my arm is aching. Anyway, yeah, so the locals would turn up with their little vase, and they would fill it up, and it would tell them how much they owed on top of the petrol pump, and away they went. It's really good. There's hopefully you can see that. That's actually Clear Hill. You can't see the Gulf War due to the angle of dangle that we're at, but yeah, it's the other side of the bridge there. Yeah, so oh, what's the place? Cleobury Mortimer is about 5 miles in front of me now, and I'm probably going to stop there for something to eat. Yeah, I should be glad of the tailwind. They're climbing out of Cleobury, heading south. Oh, that sandwich is it, sitting heavy. Well, it wouldn't be an Audax without immediately climbing out of having something to eat. Anyway, one thing I did forget in Cleobury was to actually get some water, so I've only got a little bit left, so I'm going to have to stop soon, get some more. Never mind. Now since Cleobury, it's felt a little bit like hard work, to be honest, and then when you've got somewhere called Clouds Top, that kind of explains why, because I was climbing for, well, it must have been 3 miles. Not hard, but just enough to, you know, make you feel it. Anyway, I've descended from a place called Great Whitley I think it was, and there was a bit of a Count Dracula tower there on a typical busy main road. So I've descended down from there, and I'm just going on this road to Martley now, and even though I've descended a fair way, I'm still quite high up. Well, I've stopped for some water in Martley, in the village shop over the road there, and I noticed that there was this lovely little picnic table. So I thought, you know what, whilst I'm here, I'm going to enjoy the sunshine and have a drink. I have filled up my water bottles again now, so I'm good for a bit. I think it will become a little bit less hilly because it has been quite lumpy for quite a while now. Certainly a little bit more grippy since wow, really, from Ledbury. You know, it's been quite a long stretch where it's just been, nothing massive, but it's just enough to one after the other, you know. Oh yeah, so I'm about 7 miles from Worcester, but I'm actually going to miss out Worcester and kind of going straight to Malvern, so I kind of skirt around Worcester, which is good because it's Saturday afternoon and it's going to be busy. Everywhere else seems to have been quite busy today, so I can't see why Worcester wouldn't be any different. The route itself I've really enjoyed today. You know, I think the weather has been part of that. Yeah, it's been really good. I mentioned about Great Whitley back there, and that tower I've seen a few times, and it is quite imposing. It reminds me a bit of the one down at Bruton. Oh, what's it? King Arthur's, whatever it is. And if you can imagine that with a point, it's like that, and it just sits on the hill, on top of the hill, overlooking, well, everywhere. And as you're getting closer, it becomes more and more imposing. You didn't really, once you got quite close to it, you couldn't see it because it's surrounded, the base of it is surrounded by trees, and I think it was in a estate sort of place, so you couldn't go in there. And it was a main road, so I just kept going and enjoyed the descent. But yeah, we are now, how far have we got so far? That's 74 miles. It's now coming up to 4:15. So what's that, 6.5 hours? So it's not particularly fast. As it's my second 200 this week, I'm not that bothered by that, and I did that in about just under 9 hours. So I don't think I'm going to do the final 53 miles in 3 hours. So yeah, I'll be a bit slower today, but that's fine. That's what this is all about, isn't it? You know, do what you feel like. Some days it's quick, some days it's not. It doesn't matter. It's great. Still haven't seen any slows yet for our alcohol theme for today. They are about, I've seen them, but just not on this ride today, or at least I've not noticed them. I must admit I forget, and you know, I've probably ridden by and not noticed. Well, that's Malvern ticked off. Actually, we're just coming up to the Morgan factory. So I'm just going to swivel the camera around to. So here's Morgan Motor Company. This is a final blowout before the kiddies go back to school for a lot of people. There seems to be a lot of people about today. There's also, I've noticed, a lot of squished squirrels as well. I noticed that the other day as well. There just seems to be loads of them in the moment. Oh, traffic lights. So, situation, sit rep. We're about 2 miles from the village of Shropshire. Most people know Shropshire as the service is on the M5, but there is actually a village that it got its name from. So yeah, I'm just on my lane, through the lanes to there before turning southwest again. Actually, I'll put the camera around the front. That big hump in front, if you can see it, is Breeden Hill, and you can tell that because it's got that little thing on the top. Anyway, oh, that's slows, or is it plums? Actually, I think that was plums. Oh, yeah. Yes. So, 94 miles down. It's 5:45. Not too bad. Done 6,674 feet of climbing. And yeah, so far we've got to go. Let's roll that out. 30 miles, 31 miles, 32 miles. Like that. That's not too bad. I'll show you the view behind me of the Malverns. There we go. Journey right to the village of Shropshire. Well, I think I'm here at Staverton Airport, and I'm going to take the Sistrand route. But yeah, I think I might take me private jet instead, Learjet. That's registered 70 mag. Interested? Yes. lot of aviation type, as you'd expect on an airfield. There's another private jet over there, and another. Oh, it's a turboprop actually. Yeah, so I leave it there, and I'll check in with you in a bit. Well, there's I thought I'd mention it when there is a thing of interest. Over there is the air ambulance base, and you can see that there's a helicopter there with its lights on. I think it's just landed actually, because the rotors were going round just now, and they've now stopped. And I just noticed a guy coming out with that one of those things where they move the helicopter around with. So yeah, I think that one's just come back from somewhere. Hope this comes out. Look at that sunset, incredible. It's just gone past 7:30. I'm nearly at Haresfield now. I'll probably wrap this video up actually at Haresfield, because it's only about 4 miles to home from there. Yeah, so that's the sunset. It's a lovely orange globe. Actually, I don't know if this will show up on here, but you can just make out the spire of Gloucester Cathedral. I don't think it's going to show up on the camera, to be honest, but yeah, I thought I'd share this with you. It's incredible. Well, you catch me now at Haresfield, and what you can see behind me is the level crossing at Haresfield with the Beacon Hotel behind, which is an excellent pub, by the way. I'm not going in there. I've got about 4 miles to go, and yeah, I'm just going to get it over and done with now. So I'm going to wrap up the video here. Thank you so much if you've made it this far, appreciated. And you know, there'll probably be one again next week. I'm doing a calendar event, Will Pomeroy's Hard Cheese 200, so that goes down to Wilton Way. I think I mentioned that in my last video. So I'm going to do that, and you know, I'm going to reach off home now. So thanks very much. See you next time. Bye.